All right, family, listen, we're here for another interview. We're back at it every single week. I got my brother here. Tell me your name, man.
Brian Salters.
All right, it's Brian Salters, man. How many kids you got?
Got 4, my brother.
You got 4 kids,
Yes, sir.
boy, girl,
So I have one boy.
One
Got
boy.
a set of twins, boy-girl twins.
Okay.
And 2 more girls.
and then 2 more girls.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And what do you do? What do you
So
do, Brian?
I'm a criminal investigator here at the local liaison.
Okay, okay. So that's deep profession, man.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You got a lot of responsibility
Absolutely
there,
a
right?
lot. Absolutely.
When it comes to fatherhood, man, what is the greatest thing that you've had to endure when it comes to fatherhood? Like the greatest thing you had to go through, a thing that you're like, this is what, either you came to a realization this is what fatherhood is all about, or something that, you know, it's like, man, I didn't know fatherhood was like this. Something, the greatest thing you had to endure.
A humble level of integrity. What I mean by that, I mean humility in the midst of integrity. You don't know it all.
Wow.
And the ability to be as forthright as possible with your kids in a manner that they can digest whatever it is that what they say, are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Right.
Whatever
right.
it is you're trying to relay to them, having the humility to try to take the time to explain to them, showing them your heart.
Wow.
Because they may not always understand what you're doing,
Right.
but if they understand your heart and a certain level of humility to say, hey, I was wrong about this, or I was wrong, hey, when I came home, me being upset, frustrated, whatever, ain't had nothing to do with
Had nothing
y'all.
to do with you,
I'm juggling bills.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I was sole provider. So
Wow.
just trying to forecast and ensure that I's were dotted, T's were crossed.
All
Most
the things
times
is
we
in
have
line.
more
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
a month in money,
Talk about
different
it,
little
man.
things like that. So
Okay.
just having the humility to have the integrity to say, yo, I was wrong, or hey, please forgive me, I'm sorry.
Man,
This ain't
that's
had nothing to do with y'all.
Right.
Me and your mama, you know,
We going through some
through it
things.
right
Yeah,
now. Or
yeah.
just me in and of myself with just being a man that's responsible for y'all well-being.
Wow.
That's a heavy load.
Wow.
I'm responsible for your spiritual well-being, your covering,
Yeah.
your physical well-being, your nutrition.
about it, yeah.
Like, yo, that's
That's
heavy.
a lot. It's a weight.
So
It's
being
weight.
able
Yeah.
to have the conviction and humility to say, yo, my bad. I'm dealing with this. This ain't got nothing
You're
to do
talking
with
about showing your kids vulnerability.
Yeah,
You're talking
absolutely.
about showing them that I'm human, even though I'm responsible for you, even though I love you.
Absolutely.
I'm human.
And that military, having military and law enforcement
Man,
as
listen,
a background.
talk about it. Talk about it.
I'm pretty sure I was a pretty stern
It
father.
could be- it
Matter
could be
of fact,
hard, yeah.
They talk now about the 4 fingers from being the military drill
Right,
instructor.
yeah.
But like,
Put
a
them
lot of
fingers in your
times,
chest, yeah.
a lot of times it was like, y'all, no, this is the way it's gonna be.
Right.
But having the humility to say, yo, maybe we couldn't talk about it during the time, but I'm giving you the opportunity to talk now, and
Yeah.
yo, I'm doing this for your benefit. It may not always even be right,
It may
but
not even hit.
my heart was right.
Right.
My heart was
My faith, my heart,
Yeah.
all those things are in the right place. Man, that's phenomenal, man, because a lot of times we don't even open up enough for our kids to get a chance to even see us. So that's what I hear you saying, man. So
Absolutely.
next question for you, man. How much do you think, or what things do you think your children need to know, or you try to teach them, instill in them before they turn 18? Because a lot of times we have all of these things thrown at us. We have all of these things that we're trying to, process as kids, and then for our, as adults. What's that thing that it's like, if you had to nail it down to one thing for your kids when they turn 18, or before they turn 18, what's that thing you wanted to get across to them? What's that thing you wanted them to know?
I hate to go back to integrity again, but it really is integrity.
Listen,
What I tried to instill in them was almost like, let your yes be yes and your no be no. However, the caveat is you can be wrong.
Yeah.
Be man or woman enough to stand behind whatever your actions are.
Like,
Right,
how are you
wrong, or
right?
indifferent.
Like what posture you show
Right,
when you're
right,
wrong.
wrong,
Yeah.
or indifferent.
Right.
This is what I did. It was wrong. I apologize. But
Right.
stand behind it and have the humility to say, I was wrong. My bad. Don't be one of those people that throw rocks and hide your
Oh,
hands.
man,
You
talk
can make
about it.
mistakes
Talk about
so
it.
long as you got some integrity behind it. Whether they catastrophic or whether they like little
Right.
simple mistakes.
Yeah.
But your ability to man up or woman up or fess up, it helps define your character.
Wow.
So don't be one of those people who, when you make mistakes, and this is about relationships.
Absolutely.
When you make mistakes, be able to say, hey, yo, my bad.
Yep.
Don't be one of those people that, you know, it's not nothing is ever your fault, or you're always a victim, or whatever the case is. Please don't be one of those slimy people.
Yeah.
Like, be able to say, yo, my bad, or hey, you know, I'm struggling with this the way it is, but hey, I'm fessing up that this is what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
I ain't hiding my hands, you know, that type thing.
So you're trying to find it. So you're trying to find the people. You're trying to find, and you try to build in your kids that level of, you know, humanness, that level of being open and building
just
something.
Honesty.
Just honesty. Yeah.
Just be
showing a good
even
character.
in your trash.
Even in your mess.
Even
right?
in your mess.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, this is my mess.
Right.
I'm wrong in my mess.
Absolutely.
But this is my mess.
Man, that's powerful. That's powerful, man. Because I always think about how much we try so hard for perfection when we'll never get there, and then we get to a point where we're like, you know, the kids, we bleed that on our kids. We're trying to make them so perfect, trying to make them get everything right, and they're scared to make a mistake, scared to open up, and scared to
And
be
I
in
think
way.
that was the part of it also, in that, hey, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
You having the ability to fess up gives you the ability to exhale about it.
Breathe,
You don't
yeah.
have to
You don't have to
internalize
carry
your
it.
faults,
Oh,
your
man.
fears, or
That's
your
phenomenal.
mistakes, and you're not getting too high on your successes.
Wow.
So just being able
Wow.
to, and appreciating people for your successes. You're not getting there by yourself. So
Right.
just a holistic type, man, be honest, and just like, because honesty too is, none of us gets the success we get by ourselves.
Nope.
However, sometimes we do screw up by ourselves. So just being able to
Man,
say,
talk
so
about
that, to answer your question fully, I guess
Yeah.
that was the second part of it.
Yeah.
You know, being able to give appreciation when you should give appreciation.
I like that. I love that, man. I love that. So when it comes to, you know, you said you got boys and girls, right?
No.
Oh, you got
One
you got
boy.
one boy.
Yeah,
I
let's-
said boys.
let's not-
I said
let's not
plural.
make that
right? I
plural.
said plural.
Yeah, let's not make that plural.
Yeah, you got to watch it on the camera, right? He got one boy.
One boy.
The rest of girls.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to your boys and your girls, do you find yourself wanting to leave them with different things when it comes to how they're going to move in the world? And what I mean by that is, how much do you, what kind of responsibility do you give? Because I think everybody in the household has responsibility, whether it's the wife, whether it's the husband, whether it's the kids. What kind of, or is there any different responsibility that you give your son that you didn't give your daughter, or that you give your daughter that you didn't give your son?
No, not really, because they all had different roles and responsibilities. However, I will say I was really hard on my son. My wife would
Why
talk.
is that? Why is that, man? Why would you-
Because I've been a son and I've been an adolescent before.
Yeah,
Certain
yeah.
little things about, and then too, it's military. I remember, and not just military. I was a Marine, so I remember certain things about.
You was that man.
Yeah, I remember certain things about junior ranking personnel. I still remember it like clockwork.
Right.
Will stand left abreast and in step to the person who's singing to them. So certain little
Man,
things.
if you don't stand at
yeah,
attention, man,
yeah. Or I'm
yeah.
coming down the hallway, son.
Yeah.
Never should our shoulders touch.
Oof.
You know, certain little
Oof.
things. Hey, sir, you give me, and I would call him sir. I called them ma'am.
Okay,
I gave him a
okay.
certain level of
Level of
respect.
respect.
I'm calling you sir.
Because you know that's what you want
Exactly.
to get in
That's
return.
what I want you to emulate. But
Yeah.
certain little things, my son has a certain work ethic.
Okay.
If I'm outside mowing the lawn or washing cars or whatever, you will not be inside playing Nintendo or whatever. I don't care if you don't know what you're doing. And he
Discipline.
was a little young kid outside with me.
Discipline.
He had his little bubble machine behind me with his little fake
Right.
lawnmower.
But it was what you
cutting
were
the
trying to
grass.
instill
Right,
in
just
him.
trying to instill. A man works.
Yeah.
A man tills the soil. He turns the ground.
Yeah.
That was Adam's charge to take
Absolutely.
care of the garden. So
Yeah.
hey, there's no way I'm gonna be out here. We complain about our kids not being trustworthy or having no work ethic, but yet while
What are
you're
we showing
working,
them?
they
What are we
somewhere
showing them?
chilling. You doing a lot of men do their thing.
Man, let me write that down because I done messed up
Yeah.
a couple times with
Yeah,
that. He's sitting in the
yeah,
house and I
yeah,
should have
no,
been had him, man. I should have had him
so
outside.
even if he was messing up the border holes or whatever,
That's
I'm like,
fine.
yo, you're out here with me.
Yeah,
And likewise
okay.
for my daughters, you know, just teaching them certain little things, trying to conduct yourself in a certain way to you're respected. Never go out of here as though you don't wear my name. And that was the same with my son. So as a young lady, you're wearing my name until such a time as you take on somebody else's name, but you're
Right.
wearing my name.
Okay.
Be worthy of that. Conduct yourself in a certain manner. You can make mistakes, but it should mean something for
You
your last
represent
name to
something.
be mine.
You represent
You
something.
represent something.
I love that,
Yeah,
man.
so
Man, that's phenomenal, man. You got my head spinning now, man. Last question for you, man. So I ask all my fathers this because I really want, whether it's a message to them or something you've already talked with them about. God forbid something happens to you today, and them to have a lesson from Dad, or you want them to know something about Dad. What would that one thing be for your kids?
oh man, that I was present.
I want your kids to know they're present.
It was a big deal to me.
Yeah.
My twins were 3 months old when I married my wife, their mother.
Oh, wow.
But it was a big deal to me that whenever they have an issue, that they would be able to walk down the hallway to be able to get their dad, not have to call military. You know, when I was in the military, I know I saw some cats, some NCOs, the staff NCOs, and they would talk about, you know, their kids being over in Nebraska, they in Florida. I knew I didn't want to have to deal with having to catch a flight or get in the car to go see my children.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. Know how
so-
much I messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wanted my kids to know what it meant to have a father, to have covering. So the legacy would be that you were covered.
Yeah.
Make sure you're covering for somebody else.
Wow.
You know, and I told them a lot of times about this little umbrella type theory, where, you know, so long as you're under the umbrella, you might get wet on your feet or your legs or whatever, but your head is dry, so you can have clear thoughts. I'm trying to cover you and be that covering for you. So make sure that you conduct yourself in a manner as someone who's covered. It's a different way to drive when you know you got insurance.
Right.
You know, it's certain little things you don't worry about when you know you got insurance. You got coverage.
They can fail in a controlled environment.
So I want my kids to know that while they were in a controlled environment, they knew how to act in a controlled environment, so that when they're no longer in a controlled environment, hopefully they don't get fight or flight and flee. So just the idea that legacy is important, not about money or not about something material, but having some type of coverage in the fear of God. Your father raised you with the fear of God, and because he had the fear of God, he made sure that he was a ready, present help, just as God is for us. Yes,
I love it.
Yes, sir.
Listen, just so you know, I'm taking that umbrella theory. I'm taking it, man. It's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. Listen, Brian, I appreciate you, man.
You, my brother.
Listen,
Yes,
y'all.
Yes, sir.
That's another interview in the books. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back at y'all. Peace.